Hey guys, so today we are going to do lesson 2 of our new phonics curriculum. We're going to go ahead and get started with the slideshow. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Right, so today we are doing lesson 2. Our learning targets for today are I can read consonants and vowel sounds in the code flipbooks. I can dictate words using different spellings, and I can ask and answer questions about details in the story, The Campsite. So we're going to review some of our vowel sounds from yesterday. We did the ah sound. So pay attention to my little pointer here. Everybody see my pointer around the hat? Okay, so the ah sound, this tells us the sound that we're looking for, and this tells us the letter that makes the sound. So here we have the letter A, makes the ah sound in the word hat. We have at, hat. And if we look at the power bar, it shows that the letter A is used all the time to make the sound ah. It's actually the only letter that makes the ah sound. The next vowel sound we have learned is the letter that makes the I sound. The I makes the I sound. It's not the only letter that makes the I sound, but it is used a lot, as you see here on the power bar. And it's in the word it. It. Okay, so the vowel sounds like ah and I are made with an open mouth. I want you to pause the video and I want you to practice making the ah sound and the I sound, and pay attention that your mouth is still open. When you're ready, hit the play button and we'll continue. So we're going to look at some new vowel sounds today that are in our vowel flip book. So when we look at these sounds, it's still important for us to talk about the sound the letters make, the power bar, and the words that have the same spelling. So our first sound is the eh sound. We're going to do the eh sound. And the letter E makes the eh sound, like in the word pet. P-et, pet. And you can tell from the power bar that this is a very common way to spell the sound eh, is with the letter E. All right, now we're going to do the sound, like umbrella. And it's with the letter U. And in the word but, but. Now, because these are all vowel sounds, we trace them all in green in our vowel flip book. And you look here at the power bar, it looks like there might be other ways to spell the sound rather than just U, because the power bar is not very big here. We have the sound ah, like hop, okay? Hop, good. And the letter O makes the sound ah a lot, but it looks like there's other sounds that might make the sound ah as well. All right, so remember, vowel sounds will always be traced and written in green on our spelling cards. So we're going to turn to page 7 of our code chart, and we're going to outline some of the cards, okay? So remember, you guys do not have this yet. Right now, you're just going to watch me. All right, so here is what this page looks like. Hold on one second. Okay. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Sorry. All right. So this is going to take us to a new page. Hopefully it'll work. I just figured out how to do it. All right, so it's taking us to the page in the book. And remember, we have already talked about the A that makes the ah sound in hat. We've talked about the I that makes the I sound in it. Well, we just talked about the eh sound in pet, and the sound in but, and the sound in hop. So we are going to trace those in green, because remember, we do the vowel sounds in green. So you guys are going to just watch me as I do it, okay? Hopefully we'll have a book for you guys soon, and you can do it on your own at home. Okay, so there we have those 5 vowel sounds highlighted. Okay, now let's go back to our video. Okay, so, I'm not going to collect your green markers because you don't have them. All right, so now we're going to look at some spellings in the consonant side of the book. Remember, consonants are all of the other letters in the alphabet that are not vowels. Vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes a Y. And all the other letters are consonants. Our first sound today is K, K. Now remember, there is not a UH after that K, so it's not K, it's K, K. It's a very short, harsh sound. K. And it's like the sound the letter C makes in the word cat. K, at, cat. But if you look at the power bar, it's not the only way to make the K sound. It's just one way, but it's used quite a lot. We now have the G sound. G, G. It's not G, it's G. Okay, really quick, G. And it's made with the letter G, like in the word gift. Gift, gift. And you can tell from the power bar that it's used much more often than any other letter will be used. But we'll talk about that in a later time. All right, so now we're going to go back to the code chart, and we're going to highlight those consonant sounds in red, because we do the consonant sounds in red, and vowel sounds in green. Okay, and that code is taking us to our flip book again, and we're going to need to find the C and the K. So we've done the P in pot, the B in bat, the T in top, the D in dot, and here we have, oh, looks like I've already done it today, the K in cat, and the G in gift. Good. So those are the vowel sounds that we have done so far. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we're going to go back to our video. Okay, so we are going to review other sounds and spellings each day. So we're going to use our individual code charts when we get them, whenever you're reading and writing, as much as possible as a resource. So now we're going to do some more of our chaining activities together. Now you guys like doing these. So I'm going to switch from screen share back to me. And we're going to start with, you need to get your journal, your phonics journal. Okay, get out your phonics journal. And you need to turn to page 2. Put page 2 at the bottom, please. And then put today's date. And today is 9-2. Okay, 9-2 for today on page 2. 9-2 for today on page 2. So we're going to do some chaining. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because you are able to pause and start the video over on your own time, okay, on your own timeline. But I'm going to go through these pretty quickly, okay? So the first word that we're going to start with is the word get. Get. And And I know that if I start that word, it says g, g, g. And I know that at the beginning is the letter G. G, eh, eh, eh. I know that sounds like an E, so I'm going to put an E there. G, eh, t, t, t. And that is a T at the end. So the letter get is G-E-T. So make sure you have this word to start us off with our chaining. And remember, guys, after I tell you each word, I want you to pause, try to spell it on your own, stretch out the word, try to write it, and then push play, and we'll go over how to spell it, okay? The next word I want you to spell is you're going to change a consonant. You have G and T are the consonants. Those are one of the letters you're going to change to make the word pet. Like I pet my dog, pet. Okay, so we're going to change the G to a P because I know the p sound is a P. Okay, so I went from get to pet. Now I'm going to change the vowel. The vowel in this letter, which is the vowel? Is it the P, E, or the T? Which letter is the vowel? The E is the vowel. We're going to change the E this time. And now I want the word to say pat. Like I pat my daughter's back. Pat. Remember, push pause and spell out your word, and then push play when you're ready to go back. Okay, when I want to say pat, I know the P and the T stay the same. I just have to change the middle letter, and I know that a is A, so it's P-A-T, pat. Now I'm going to change a consonant, and I want you to make the word bat, like the bat flew over my head. Bat, bat. I know that when I say b, that is the letter B. So I changed my word to B-A-T, bat. We're going to change a consonant again. This time I want you to make the word cat. Cat. A cat is black. Cat. We actually looked at this word today when we were looking at the sound for the consonant C. So we changed the letter B to a C to make the word cat. Cat. Now we're going to change the vowel again. This time you're going to make the word say cot, like I slept on a lumpy cot. Cot. I know that the k stays the same and the t stays the same. So what's changing in this word? Ought. I know the C is the same. What letter says ah? Ah. I'm making an O. Ah with my mouth. Ought. Good. Now we're going to make the word taught. Here's the word caught. Sorry, I forgot to show you. We're going to make the word taught. I know the ought stays the same. So what's going to change? The consonant C is going to change. I'm going to make it say t, 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 t. That is, what letter is that? It's the letter T. So the word taught, T-O-T, like a tater tot. All right, so now we're going to change the word taught into the word top. 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 What's changing there? Top. That does not make the P sound. What letter makes the P sound? A P. I kind of gave you that one, didn't I? So you should have T-O-P as the word top. Good. So please pause the video. Make sure you have all your words written correctly. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line across the middle of the page to separate my first chain and my second chain. Okay. We're going to do the second chain now. We're going to start with the word got. It's very similar to the word get, but it's got. What letter should go in the middle to make the word got? It's not going to be an E. The first letter is the same. G, ah, 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 ah. That's an O. T, 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 got. G-O-T. Got. Got. And we're going to change it into a word that we already saw up here in the top. It's the word caught. The lumpy caught did not feel good. Caught. Ought. Which letter is changing in that word? Ought. The ought is the same. So the G is the letter that changes, and it's going to change to a C. C-O-T. Caught. Ought. Good. This time we're changing the vowel. The vowel is going to say So that's not going to be an O anymore. I know the first sound is the same, the k, k. The last sound is the same, but what's going to go in the middle? What letter is that? That's a U. So it's C-U-T. Cut. Cut. Good. So now we're going to change a consonant, and we're going to make the word cup. So if I look at my word cut, let's see what's going to change. Well, that's the letter that's different. What letter says p, 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 p? A P. So cup is C-U-P. Cup. Cup. All right, so now we're going to change one consonant again to make the word cub. Like the bear cub is chasing me. Cub. B, b. What letter do I know makes the b, b, b sound? I know the k, k is the same, and the is the same. Cub. B, b. It's going to be the letter B. Cub. Good. All right, now we're going to make the word say cab. Like I drove a cab across town. What's changing? Is it a consonant that's changing or a vowel that is changing? It is a vowel that is changing. So I know the C is going to stay the same and the B is going to stay the same. But what's going to go in the middle? Ab. Ah. What letter is that? That is an A. So our new word cab is C-A-B. Ab. Cab. And our last word in the chain today is cap. Like the cap of my marker. Cap. App. What's going to change? Which letter is going to change? The B is going to change. So I know the C and the A stay the same. App. What letter makes that sound? It's the P again. So our word is cap. App. Good job. All right, so that was page 2. So now, hold on, my mouse is frozen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again really quickly. Okay, so we did our teacher chaining. So now it's time for dictation. So keep out your pencil and your paper, and I'm going to say some words. After I say the word, you're going to write it on your paper. And I'm going to say each word twice. I'm going to say the word once. I'm going to say it in a sentence. And then I'm going to say the word again. And what I want you to do is sound it out slowly to yourself to try to figure out how to spell the word and write it on your paper. Okay? Think about all the stuff that we've talked about today, all the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds. And when we're finished with our 3 words in this activity, we're going to check and correct our words together as a group. Oops. All right, you guys ready? Okay, I'm going to unshare my screen so you can see me again. Okay. All right, so our first word is the word pit. Like, Mom tickled my armpit. Pit. The second word is tip. The tip of my marker is squished. Tip. Tip. And our third word is bib. Babies wear a bib when they eat. Bib. Okay, so we're going to go over these words together. I hear three sounds in the word pit. It, p, it. Okay, the first sound I hear is p, 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 p. And I know that the P makes that sound. P, p, p. Okay, the second sound I hear is I, I, I. And I know that an I makes that sound. And the third sound I hear is t, t, t. And I know that a T makes that sound. So I wrote the sounds that I hear. P, it. So the way to spell the word pit is P-I-T. Pit. The second word we had was the word tip. Okay? And I hear three sounds again. I hear t, ip. Okay? The first sound I hear is t, t, t. I'm going to put a T in that box. The second sound I hear is I, I, I. T, ip. Again, I know that the I makes the I sound. So I have T-I, t, ip. What letter makes that sound? It is the P. The P makes the P sound. So I know that to spell the word tip, it has three sounds, and it's T-I-P. Tip. Our third word is the word bib. Bib. And if I say that word really slowly, b-ib. I hear three sounds. B-ib. Bib. So I have three boxes. What's the first sound I hear? B, 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 b. I hear a B. I, 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 b, I, I, I. That is also an I. We got I all the way down the middle, don't we? B, I, b, b, b. That's a B again. So I hear three sounds in the word bib. I hear b, I, b. So I know the way to spell the word bib is B-I-B. Bib. Good job, guys. All right, so that is all for our phonics journal for today. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen with you so we can finish our slideshow. All right, so we're going to check. We checked the word pit, tip, and bib. And remember, guys, this is just the beginning of the year. It's okay if we make mistakes. We learn from them. If you made a mistake, you just need to make sure that you make corrections on your work and fix it. Okay? All right, so now we're going to read a new story today called The Campsite. We're going to practice reading the story about Kate and her adventure in the West. Do you guys remember who Kate was visiting in the first story we read? That's right. She was visiting her Nan. That's just another name for a grandma or a granny or a nanny. Okay. All right, so we're going to turn to, you guys don't have a workbook, but I have it out. I have it saved for you. Read the title of the story. Remember, the title gives us an idea of what the story is about. So let's look at the title of the story. What is the title of the story? Can you tell me the title, please? The title is The Campsite. This tells me that they are on their trip to go camping. Remember, at the end of the first story, Jake had invited Nan and Kate to go camping. This makes me think that they are already there. Maybe they're getting ready to set it up, or maybe something's going to happen. Let's read it and find out. All right, so before we can read, let's talk about a campsite. A campsite is the place you set up your tent when you go camping. If you look at the picture, here's their tent. Here's their tent. And then they've got some chairs over here, and maybe they're going to put a fire here so they can roast marshmallows or hot dogs. So this is their campsite. What jobs do you think have to be done in order to set up a campsite? Just by looking at this picture, what kind of jobs do you think they would need? Someone obviously needs to put the tent together and set it up. Someone needs to maybe clean all the dead leaves and the twigs from underneath the tent, so you don't have to sleep on them. Maybe somebody needs to set up the cot or the sleeping bags. Someone needs to set up the chairs. Somebody needs to gather wood for the fire, maybe make a fire pit. Those are some jobs that have to be done to set up the campsite. Okay, so we're going to read the text closely together. We're not going to do this part. I'm going to read it all out loud to you. All right, so our story is called The Campsite. And this little thing right here is going to take us to the story. Remember, after you watch the lesson today, you need to go to the Google Classroom, to the classwork section, and find the story Campsite. You're going to read it again tonight to yourself or to an adult, and then you're going to answer your questions. Okay? We're going to do this together, but then you're going to do it again tonight on your own. So the story is called The Campsite. Jake came and picked us up in his Jeep. We drove to a campsite in the Badlands. Nan, I said, what's up with that name, the Badlands? Well, said Nan, legend has it that a long time back, farmers came out here looking for farmland. When they saw all of the rocks and sand and stone, they said, this is bad land. We can't plant crops here. And the name Badlands just sort of stuck. It's bad land for farming, said Jake, but it's good land for camping. When we got to the campsite, we had to unpack sleeping bags, tents, lanterns, matches, and lots of food. We lugged it all to the campsite. Jake chose a spot to set up camp. Max and I helped set up the tents. It took us a long time. For dinner, we had hot dogs. We stuck them on sticks and held too long. Max gave me one of his. That was when I said to myself, this Max kid is okay. All right, question 1. Who drove the Jeep to the campsite? A, Dan drove the Jeep to the campsite. B, Kate drove the Jeep to the campsite. Or C, Jake drove the Jeep to the campsite. And I'm going to give you a second to look at the answers, and then we're going to go up here and find them in the reading passage. Okay, so let's go up here and look. Well, it says, sorry, I was just looking to see if there's a highlighter. This works. Jake, oh, it does. Look at that. We discovered something new today, guys. Let me make it a little bit darker. Oop, that's too dark. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. Jake came and picked us up in his Jeep. So who picked them up in the Jeep? Who drove the Jeep to the campsite? It would be Jake drove the Jeep to the campsite. Why was the place called the Badlands? A, bad people lived there. B, bad land is not good for crops. Or C, bad land is bad for camping. Let's go here and look. It says, Nan, I said, what's up with that name, the Badlands? Well, said Nan, legend has it that a long time back, farmers came out here looking for farmland. When they saw all of the rocks and sand and stone, they said, this is bad land. We can't plant crops here. All right, let's go back and look at the answer choices again. Was it because A, bad people lived there? Was it because B, bad land is not good for crops? Or was it C, bad land is bad for camping? C, I think there was something Jake said. It's bad land for farming, said Jake, but it's good land for camping. So I think the answer is here and here. These both say that it's bad land for crops. It's not good for crops. Number 3. Who set up the tent? A, Jake and Nan set up the tent. B, Kate and Nan set up the tent. Or C, Max and Kate set up the tent. All right, let's go back and look, see who set up the tent. Jake chose a spot to set up camp. Max and I helped set up the tents. Well, there's the answer right there. But who's I? Who's telling the story? Whose point of view is this from? This is Kate telling the story. So Max and I would mean Max and Kate set up the tent. Okay. Number 4, why did Kate's hot dog get black? A, Kate left her hot dog in the fire too long. B, Kate dropped her hot dog in the black mud. Or C, Kate's hot dog fell in the ashes. Okay, so let's go back and look. What happened to her hot dog? For dinner, we had hot dogs. We stuck them on sticks and held too long. Okay, it does not say anything about black mud, does it? It does not say that she let it fall in the ashes either. It says that she left it in too long, held too long. That right there is your clue that she left her hot dog in the fire too long. And in the end, what did Kate think of Max? A, Kate felt that Max was mad at her. B, Kate felt that Max was sad. Or C, Kate felt that Max was okay. That was when I said to myself, this Max kid is okay. So how did she feel about him in the end? She felt that he was okay. All right, so remember, you are going to go back in tonight on Google Classroom. You're going to read the story again. You can read it to another person, or someone else can read it to you. That is fine. Either way, I want you to reread the story and go back and answer the questions with Cami. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my, wait, hold on, no, I'm not. Okay. All right, so our learning targets today were that we can read consonant and vowel sounds in the code flipbook. We did that. I can dictate words using different spellings, and we did that with the words pit, tip, and bib. And we can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, the campsite, and we just did that. So that's all that we have for today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right, so tonight you need to go back, you need to read that story, and then make sure that you hit submit. I know it does not show it on my screen. I'm going to share my screen again. Hold on. When we are in Cami, when we're in Cami, it's not showing on my screen because I have the teacher screen. But on your student screen, there's a little button up here by the printer and the floppy disk that says turn in. When you are finished with your work on your Cami assignments, you need to click that little button that says turn in, okay? And then it will notify me that you are finished and I can go check your work. Okay, so make sure on all your assignments that you are clicking turn in. When you have an assignment in Google Classroom, sometimes it will say submit, sometimes it will say mark is done, sometimes it will say turn in. So make sure that you're doing that when you are finished. Please do not submit it to us if you've not actually done the work, because we're just going to turn it back to you. Okay? Make sure you're doing what we ask you to do, and then we will be able to look at it and give you some feedback and to grade it. Okay, so make sure that you are reading your story tonight, do your questions, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have a great afternoon.